Howdy everybody, welcome to L2PS2 episode 30 on March 16th, 2015. Wow, 30 episodes already, that is crazy. Started first week in July last year, obviously skipped a few weeks, doubled up on a few weeks, but nonetheless we're coming around full circle here in the coming months, and that's awesome. So thank you guys for your continued support and tuning in and everything always. It's much appreciated. If you don't know who I am or what the show is about, I'm ItZMuRdA. These are my four main characters in PlanetSide 2. I've been playing PlanetSide 2 since summer of 2012, back in the original alpha, tech test, beta, so forth, as well as PlanetSide 1 since the original beta in 2003. So I've been a huge fan of the entire franchise forever-ish. It's not forever, but for as long as you possibly could be. And I'm here to hopefully share some of that passion with you. I'm primarily an infantry player, hence the infantry training camp in the title of the show, and I play all three empires, and hope to kind of share some knowledge, some experiences with you, and give you guys some ideas on why it is that I do certain things or choose certain things, as well as answer questions that you may have in chat. I do have a chat opened up if you're in the twitch.tv/PlanetSide2 official channel right now. Any questions you may have, you can happily answer. If you're watching after the fact on a highlight video on Twitch or a VOD on YouTube, you're always welcome to send me a private message on any of those forums or on Twitter or wherever. You can find all of my social media stuffs at ItZMuRdA.com. If you scroll down below, the stream page gives you links to everything, so be sure to check that out. Forgive me for one sec there, I was just updating one other thing real quick. How's it going, Dana and Ben? I don't know what faction I'll be playing tonight. I usually do solo stuff, especially for the show. It's kind of easier to not have a whole bunch of voiceovers going on, and a little bit easier for me to directly, I guess, interact with you guys, as opposed to being in a larger platoon and whatnot. But that's also kind of my forte. You can take anything that you learn in solo play and apply it to group play, but it's not as easy to do the reverse. So kind of getting used to being a good lone wolf can go a long way, but the game really opens up its full potential if you are playing with an outfit or a group or platoon or whatnot. Hey Computer Techie, hey Fallout. I didn't play on Genudyne primarily. Genudyne was one of the merged servers. I probably had a character there at some point that then got merged over, but my primary characters were always on what was Matherson and what became Emerald. And this character actually may have originally been on Genudyne, I don't remember now, and went over to Connery to become my primary character there with Future Crew. But alas, we're kind of just have a few different servers now. I think 5 total, 2 for EU, 2 for US, and 1 for AU. But I will hop in game. Hey Sir Kane. I don't know what did I say I was gonna play anything in particular. I know I said I was gonna play I don't want to just constantly play VS, although there's probably the largest chance that some people are going to be online to play with if you did want me to be in a squad or platoon on VS. I also know I was working on the, let me just adjust my audio here real quick. I also know I was working on the, let's see who's online. 5 of us. Hey, it's Josk. The directive that I'm super far from, the LMG Beetlejuice directive, finishing that off. I guess first finishing off the flare, but most of the time I end up doing other things anyway. I'll say that I'm going to play heavy, but it's probably one of my lesser played classes. Usually prefer playing light assault or infiltrator the vast majority of the time. So I end up not playing it as much as I think I'm going to, even when I say I'm going to try specifically to do just that. I don't know if you guys are getting game sound right now or not. If not, I can just see if I can adjust real quick. Doesn't sound like it. Hold on one sec. Should be a simple fix. Forgive me, friends. That'll do it. And then there was sound. Sorry about that. Yeah, Future Crew is actually my my primary outfit that I align with more than anything else or anyone else. I haven't been playing on Connery a whole lot as of late, just because there unfortunately haven't been a whole lot of people playing, and the server is on the other side of the country from me, so all things considered, I get worse performance on Connery than I do on Emerald. But yeah, that's good to know. Good guys, glad to be a part of it. So we're at NDRX at the moment, short for Endar Excavation Site. Probably one of the more iconic towers in the game. They're pushed in a little bit more than they typically are. They, just meaning attackers in general at this base. Usually they're not quite as aggressive, or they don't really have the same sort of placement. We're really stuck inside our tower, or up on the walls of it. We really have none of the surrounding areas at the moment. Usually we can push out in one direction or another. There's a guy below me. But, wow, Vortex got the kill, it's pretty funny. You definitely should have sound, by the way, now. I mean, I can see it going out on my end, and I think some of you said you did. Let me know if I need to adjust volumes, because I know I was playing with volumes for other things I was doing the other day, but I think they should be about normal. Yeah, but you can normally push out in one of these directions, and maybe we're kind of working towards that at the moment. I usually would grab like a flash to pull out over here, or even a lightning or something like that. Kind of make quick work of the enemies in the surrounding areas. But we are getting the opportunity here to at least push out a little bit on the northeastern side. So if needed, we can then wrap around to the south. Running a flare at the moment, which is the LMG that I'm closest to Erexium on. Trying to finish that as part of the master directive, or the Erexium directive. Oh boy, got a center coming up behind me. Hopefully there's nobody in the gunner seats at the moment. To work towards getting the Beetlejuice unlocked, because I want to actually be able to play with that a little bit more often, especially after the recent changes to the heat mechanic that you can see on the Eclipse and the Dark Star as well. Eclipse got a second fix to give it more rounds in the magazine as well, which is pretty cool. Also, Flare is a pretty standard beast of a mid to long range LMG. Not quite as good in close quarters unless you are significantly outplaying your opponent, or he has an even worse weapon for the job, or something along those lines. But I can still get the job done. It's just not going to be an Orion or an SV-88 or something like that in close quarters. I haven't used the Godsaw, I don't think, since any modifications to it. Current flare I'm running with a typical forward grip compensator, high velocity ammo, like long range setup. Compensator is not necessary, but I run it just because the hip fire is already terrible to begin with, so I may as well have a little bit extra compensation on my vertical recoil. I think those are fairly obvious, whatchamacallits. Yeah, it was poor positioning on my part. attachment choices, if you will. Some people don't like the ammos. I personally think that high velocity ammo works pretty well for a gun like this, so I don't mind the minor downside of it. VX67 and Serpent are really close. I prefer the VX67 personally, but you can really make it work with either. I know there is a difference in insert cost, so if you're on a budget, you want to go the lesser expensive route, I don't think you're going to be disappointed. But they are extremely similar. You're just making a few somewhat minor in the grand scheme of things, I think, trade-offs. But I always liked how the VX67 felt, and that's just kind of what I got used to, I guess. I used the Serpent when it first came out, and I liked it as well, but I stopped using it after getting Rexium Metal with it, and kind of didn't go back to it after recent changes, or more recent changes, I should say. Nice, Joss. I am battle rank 100 Christmas on all of my main characters, actually. It doesn't really say much other than time spent and hopefully knowledge gained over that course of time. It's not like a a power sort of rank. I don't know how familiar you are with it, but beyond BR15, you don't really get any sort of upgrades that impact your ability to kill your enemies better than they can kill you, so to speak. Wow, it was a pretty good flash. I'm just sitting here spamming medkits in the middle of all of that. I'd like to think it helped me survive. But nonetheless, I think the battle rank EXP system's in a pretty good place. I think the amount of EXP it takes to hit BR100 is pretty spot on for all things considered. It's still a considerable time investment, but doesn't feel impossible. I like the flare better, Celex, but again, both are quite similar, with only a few differences. Kind of almost like the VX67 and the Serpent. I'm not actually sure, Lunar. I would think so, but it's possible that for whatever reason that has been deprecated among other things. It's worth a try if you haven't. Nice computer, Techie. In either case, Flare or Ursa, you've got a pretty good handle on long-range aiming down sights to accurately put high damage per shot rounds into your enemies. So that's something to keep in mind as far as just positioning and the fights that you get yourselves into and stuff like that. If you've watched me play before, like I mentioned earlier, you probably haven't seen me play heavy much. I've just been trying to work on these directives. For those that are unfamiliar, directives are kind of like achievements, mostly with cosmetic rewards, but occasionally there are some, like for the final tier of a specific directive line, actual tangible reward. Usually something that's still a side grade, nothing that's like, again, pure power, but something still worth striving for depending on what you're going for. So, but I do try to play all of the classes. I won't say equally, but as needed, depending on the situation that we're in and stuff like that. And I do recommend that, at least in the long run, getting used to that. I don't know why I don't have a battle hardened on, but that's a good catch. Might have just been a really old loadout that I jumped on, or was taken off at some point in time when battle hardened was changed and never put back, or who knows. But yeah, no, I'd be running with battle hardened if I knew what I was doing. Again, a preference there though. fight's over. I didn't mention, but I use gray as, you know, friendly colors and 2 different shades of red as enemy colors. I just find that simplest when quickly making decisions. My graphics are a combination of all things. It's just kind of a custom setting. You've got a few things on a high, a few things on low. Mostly graphics and textures are on high, and my render quality is turned all the way up, and then the rest of the things are turned low, just to kind of min-max performance, as well as a game that I think is visually appealing, at least. Hard to make the game look bad, in my opinion, unless you turn render quality down. As for computer specs, best way would be to scroll down below the stream page on my stream, which you can find at ItZMuRdA.com, or ItZMuRdA_TV is my Twitch name. If you click that in chat, I'll pop it in there for you. That is where I stream most of the other days of the week, time permitting, so if anybody is interested, a lot of my streams, even on my channel, are just like this. I try to be as helpful as possible, so I appreciate any follows and support in return. The link in chat there for you. I don't know how much of a delay we've got going on at the moment, but it should work. A lot of guys rushing in. It's a battle cache. Oh boy. I thought I was gonna get to that spot, but then I'd be able to turn around on him. But no such luck. I get a little impatient. That wasn't necessarily the wisest thing to do, but. Yeah, the my actual config in terms of the user options is linked down there, as well as graphic settings and tech specs. There's a lot of information down there, and I've pruned it a few different times, and I should probably do it again. Wow, ouch. But it is there. If you're looking for it, most likely it's there. And I do appreciate the follows, Metric Null and anybody else who may have just recently followed that I didn't catch. Thank you for that, guys. Jumping in light assault now with the new 30-round mag clips, and I totally forgot that I had the new Icarus jump jets equipped, but just as well, since I want to get a little bit more used to them. So I'm running the directive carbine at the moment, which recently just got it, I guess I should say adjusted. It got its heat mechanic changed to where you can no longer reload to reset it, so you just have to manage the heat, but if you manage it well, you essentially have infinite ammo, and as a result it got brought up to the normal magazine size for carbines of 30 rounds, or at least effective magazine size, I should say. I was hoping to be able to do a little bit more with it from the rooftops, but it doesn't look like that is necessarily going to be the case. A lot of the guys really just inside there, or shelling from way back where. Recruit program is still up and running, right, Kane? Because I have Shundy's code on there, but I don't know if she's getting anything from it. I'm still promoting it, at least. Hopefully it is still functional. Oh, almost. Ow. That's no good. Killing those things, not necessarily a huge battlefield advantage, but mostly a directive, at least in terms of why I'm doing. But it doesn't hurt to knock out enemy equipment from a tactical perspective as well. I don't have a Drifter Jets loadout. I used to. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I may still have some old ones in the like 9 and 10 loadout slots and stuff. I used to have one, but I just found myself like never using it anymore. I used to use it in situations where I was already kind of spawning at an area of higher elevation, and I could, drift to a reasonable advantage, but I found myself in too many situations where I just couldn't then elevate back up to where I need to be later in that life, and I just think having the normal jump jet functionality was worth too much to give up. Just checking, again, mostly defensive fights. Whenever a fight's over, I smash my instant action button, see if it's going to take me to someplace I want to be, and I'll try that first. If not, I'll hit redeploy. I'll look for reinforcements needed locations that I can automatically spawn into. I think kind of learning the map, learning the fights, and learning where you're most useful, either to your empire, to your outfit, to your squad, or to yourself, depending on what you're trying to do, can be super helpful, especially early on. These are the reinforcements needed locations that I was talking about earlier. Oftentimes they can give you a spawn point significantly far away from where you're currently at, and put you in a good fight. Other times, not at all. Like this one may be too camped. Some fights may be too empty. But it's good to take a look at it either way. Trying to keep as much uptime on fighting as possible definitely helps you in the solo game. Like I've already earned 133 certs in 17 minutes. That may count the 48 that I got for logging on as a member, but even so, even if you take that away, it's almost 100. Just from trying to be as efficient as possible. Of course, you don't have to play that way. But if you want to, which I think a lot of people do, especially those playing solo, kind of learning some things can go a long way, I think, as far as that goes. They're going to take this over right now. I mean, I could have redeployed out if I cared that much about it, I suppose. But I wanted to see if I could, pinch out those extra few kills or whatever. I don't have any more NS11 CPs, unfortunately. I have polar bear decals that I give away every week. Speaking of which, I'll give away one in whatever. You can give away now. That's fine. I'll spawn at Briggs Laboratories in the meantime. I have a few snowball guns. I'll give away another one of those tonight. And I actually have a couple of one-day EXP boost codes for whatever that's worth. Because I was digging through codes to see what I had available earlier today, actually. So, well, in honor of 30 episodes, we can do 3 giveaways tonight. Why not? So I'll give away an EXP boost as well, one of each. Alright, so next death, I'll give away a polar bear decal. It is this loadout is probably not wearing one. Well, that looks weird on those composite armor, but it is my polar bear logo that you see in the top right-hand corner of your screen as a decal in-game that you can use on infantry shoulder pads and vehicle cosmetics that SOE was awesome enough to implement into the game. Oh, he had the head glitch advantage, that's for sure. So yeah, I'll give one out. It's going to show up in the bottom portion of the screen as a scrolling ticker. You can retype it in, the first person who types it into the redeem a code slot here in game or on planetside2.com under enter activation code once you log into your account. What's up, Bass? How's it going? Will be the winner. And I'm going to go ahead and flip that on right now. I have plenty more where that comes from. I give away one each week, so good luck, have fun. Here it is. And there is also, you can also get polar bear decals by subscribing to my Twitch channel on the link that I gave before. If you click my name in chat or go to ItZMuRdA.com and become a subscriber, that also guarantees you a polar bear decal, among other things like awesome emotes in chat and so on and so forth, as a thank you for your support. I'll be doing the other 2 giveaways tonight in the same fashion. Boy, sometimes I'm thinking that hipfire is better than it actually is. Yeah, of course it'd be the max. So yeah, we've got a snowball gun and a 1-day EXP boost coming up within the next... I should have totally switched to the pump shotgun there. Within the next 40 minutes or so. Conman, yeah, I can, man. Conman, yeah, I can, man. That's interesting. I didn't mean to say that. But yeah, sure. Give me a few to I don't know, finish this base fight or something, and I can hop on some TR. I'm pretty impartial when it comes to that stuff. I try to keep it relatively balanced, although I'm sure it's way less balanced than I realize it is. Playing all 3 of the empires to give equal support and representation, especially on this stream. I still try to do that on my own stream, but perhaps a little less successfully. But on the L2PS2 shows every Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, right here on the PlanetSide 2 channel, and also hosted at ItZMuRdA.com, I try to give equal love to the Empire. But yeah, sure. Just give me a few here, and we'll do a switch over for like the second half of the show or so. I don't know exactly what I want to do. I can grab a Scorpius, I guess. We're under pretty heavy fire. I mean, this is kind of in over my head in enemy territory at this point, but we'll have some fun with it, see what kills we can pick off. Oh, that must have been really bad timing. Ton of guys in that building now. I don't think I can safely make it there as light assault anymore, but I'm gonna try to get in as an infill on the ground floor. You can take that Holy code off the screen. Grats to whomever received that. Oh, exactly what I needed. Huh. Shotguns galore. There you go, Velasig. Thanks for the follow, Matt Dog. Appreciate it. Surprisingly, we have more pop, but this is one of the older base designs that gives them surrounding hills to really easily camp the spawns and get their vehicles right into the heart of the base. Significantly harder to push out of, even with overwhelming numbers once you're in this sort of situation. Got lightnings at every turn and folks camping above us. I don't know if it was that guy or the guy behind me. There was two infills there that got me there. Yeah, I mean, that's what I was kind of saying. Battle rank doesn't really mean a whole lot in terms of like it would in an RPG, for instance, where a higher level character kills a lower level character 99% of the time. In PlanetSide, yeah, I mean, it's a general idea of time spent, and as a result of that, knowledge, skill, and so forth, but there's no inherent benefit to being higher battle rank that means we can't let this facility fall to the enemy. Next level and you're more powerful than the guys who are just starting out. So I always liked that about the game. You know, in a very basic sense, you know, I'm kind of an Unreal Tournament player at heart, where there was no levels or anything like that, and it was, you know, kind of an even playing field, except for the skill of the players, or knowledge and skill of the players. But at the same time, I am also a modern gamer that likes my progression and my achievements and things like that, and as a result of that, we can get all of those shots. You know, I think they kind of merged the two quite nicely in PlanetSide, give us something to strive for in terms of progression, but at the same time, give us a pretty even playing field in terms of balance among new players and veterans alike. Alright, Ben, I will do just that. As soon as we finish up here at this base, whatever that means, I'll hop on over. And I'll probably also do another giveaway in between. Getting a little out of hand there. Yeah, Bill, that's also a good point for sure. You can kind of look at directive points to get a better judge of alts in that case, but that doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, somebody cares about directive points or whatever. I guess it's usually kind of a giveaway that somebody's a fairly new player if they happen to be BR5 and also have no directive points. Oh boy. Really didn't want to expose myself to that max. Surprised I got through that with the help of whoever the hell else that was. We've got a motion sensor and we've got tanks on all sides, so this is pretty interesting. There's another infiltrator right there too. This guy guard's gonna probably kill me. Well, at least I got him. No worries, don't be hating. This is an SMG. It's the Scorpios, which is the directive reward for VS SMGs. So it's not terribly easy to acquire early on, but it's very, very similar to the Eridani SX5. It's based off the same weapon, and that's a gun that you can just buy for certs or station cash right off the bat. And it has different SMG equivalents on different empires and stuff like that if you play a different empire. For what that's worth, but playing an infiltrator that has the option to cloak and uncloak within reason, and running an SMG or a scout rifle of some sort has certainly become a popular, aggressive if not fragile playstyle that I think takes a little bit more skill than the average class to really get a full grasp on. Having knowledge of the entire game and the maps as a whole, and access to a higher rank of cloaking and recon detect device and things like that is certainly helpful, but not necessary. It also requires you unlocking an SMG, since you usually just start with the sniper rifles. Forgive me for auto charge doesn't want to auto charge. Alright, I said I was going to switch to TR though, and I'm going to do just that, and I will add you, Ben, on your TR character. Anybody else, by the way, who ever wants to play together, whether I'm on here or I'm on my own stream, if you're playing where I'm playing, I'm going to be jumping on TR Emerald. You're more than welcome to hop in the squad or something like that, so just let us know. Send an invite, send a tell, send a friend request or whatever. Completely open to that. I am also going to give away a one-day EXP boost that I have a code set up for, just like the other one. So I'm going to pop that in chat here real quick before we spawn in. I'm just switching my colors back on over here. Alright, I'm going to pop the EXP boost code in chat. It may not stack. I don't know exactly how these work. Sometimes boost codes don't stack with other boost codes if you've redeemed one in the past. But you can buy those in the depot as well right here. Experience boost 1 day. This is what you'd be getting if you enter that code and win. Alright, Ben, where are we? Oh, you're already on TR friends on this character at least, so that's good. Even better. Where are we going? So just taking a look at the map preliminarily here. ItZMuRdA is locked. Hassan doesn't have a whole lot of action. Some fights. We're on the defensive at Nam, but we have a huge population benefit, so the fight is probably, just looking at these two different pie charts here, the fight's probably right in here, as well as what the hotspots are indicating. So I don't know that makes for the most enjoyable of fights, but it's possible. Fort Drexler we're attacking. We actually have a decent foundation in there. That might work. Amerish looks pretty vacant at the moment, just looking at pop numbers, at least on the TR side, so I'm not going to go there. Indar is where we just were. Crossroads could become a good fight. But I have no problem, since I'm already on Hassan and you guys are already on Hassan, trying to jump into to one of these bases. The instant action wants to take me to construction site Epsilon, which has pretty much no fight there, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to set a waypoint over at Fort Drex and fly over. Since we have the population dominance, that's probably why it doesn't want to instant action me in, but nonetheless. Are implants that useful? Yes and no. You can totally play the game and not even know they exist and still do just fine, which I think is kind of what they were going for, maybe, hopefully. But at the same time, they do provide a minor additional benefit depending on the situation and whatnot. And I pretty much always just use battle hardened. I should probably go through and try to get higher ranks of it on some of these characters that I haven't. But whatever my highest rank of Battle Hardened is usually my go-to, unless I'm doing something like hipfire, SMG infill. I often run marker with, or certain sorts of competitive situations where you'd run, clear vision or something else, or vehicle situations where you'd run a different sort of implant, or sniping, so on and so forth. There are other reasons to run different ones, but if you, like I had kind of said, if you kind of ignore them or whatever, you're not drastically hurting yourself. I wouldn't worry about it too much. I'm asking for trouble here. But at the same time, you should stumble upon at least Battle Hardened rank 1, if not rank 2, just from playing the game normally. And that's not a bad thing. I would try to run that on most of your, go-to normal run and gun loadouts, and kind of go from there. I think it'll provide a benefit as opposed to not having it. You don't really need to dump any time, money, or certs into them beyond that. I guess we just smashed into something. So that's about the extent of my piloting these days. I kind of just use it as a transportation mechanism, kill some stuff on the ground. I'm okay at flying. I can keep myself alive for the most part. I'm not very good at dogfighting. And I always felt like the dogfighting game was frustrating enough that I didn't really care to get into it. In PlanetSide 1, I was a lot better at it and a lot more interested in it, but in PlanetSide 2, the only vehicle I'm really good at is the Flash. How often have I been conked since the conk change? I can't say often. I don't know the actual answer to that, but it's not often. There's an EMP for you. I don't know if that counts. Probably not. Just being a little bit cautious since I don't have my my armor or overshield or whatever you want to call it. Ow. That's interesting, Underage Bat. I didn't even realize that, but that's probably for the better. But yeah, what Daki the Zombie said about the implants and what they do, that's absolutely correct. It's funny not running Icarus at the moment. It feels so slow to ascend anything. I kind of got used to that a bit. But you can also, go in game and mouse over them and see what different implants do. It'll let you know as well. Or if you don't have them yet, or you don't want to even bother, you can, I'm sure, go to external websites, PlanetSide Wiki, PlanetSide Universe. There's all sorts of different places that I know have full lists of what they do. That must have been the friendly TR aircraft that rammed into me, or we rammed into each other, or whatever the hell happened. It sent me a tell. I wasn't quite sure. Oh God, I had no idea what. That's oh God. Oh come on. It felt like some bad client side. I never know what to expect though in the pistol that I'm going to be wielding in different characters and different loadouts. So that was kind of a surprise. Yeah, it is, Sasquatch. Sorry. I do have a snowball gun to still give away for this episode, though. So probably in the next 10 minutes or so, I'll be popping that one up. I don't have that many more snowball gun codes. I don't know how many it is, but it's not a lot. And I don't expect to really be provided with more anytime soon. So get them while they're hot. Otherwise, probably have to wait till winter event next year. That's why I've been going through them now. Since it's pretty much the longest amount of time that you'd have to wait to be able to actually purchase a snowball gun again. Figure may as well help people out and get them now in the off season, if you will. Oh, that's a very poor approach. They've this part of the reason on display right here as to why I think defense is not only preferential in terms of enjoyment, but also more efficient in terms of EXP and cert gain. It just, quote-unquote, farming becomes a hell of a lot easier when the enemies are mindlessly charging you instead of you having to do the charging of the enemy. Goes hand in hand with that to say that defense often has the higher ground, especially on some of the newer or more newly revamped continents. World design, level design was often takes that into consideration on the bases on Hassan and Amarich and ItZMuRdA, more so than Indar, where there are a lot of situations on Indar where the height advantage. But you can still make it work, especially if there's not a better fight. I think it's I think it's better to be at a offensive like this than to just be sitting somewhere in a fight with only 6 other guys or whatever. But to each their own. You're just not gonna be prepared to die more often and not necessarily be performing as well in that sort of a situation. No problem at all, Lunar. That's what we're here for, man. Snowball gun is exactly what it sounds like. It's from the winter events that they've had the past 2 years in-game. It literally is a sidearm that shoots snowballs. It doesn't do a lot of damage. It would take like 3 body hits to kill somebody, and it reloads pretty slowly. So it's not a terribly effective means of killing people, but it's a fun novelty item that isn't always available year-round. And it also has a cosmetic title associated with getting a silver medal with it, if you do in fact want to kill people with it. Just because it's not that easy. I should be switching. Oh my god! I was gonna say I should be switching to my underbarrel more often there. Hey Shadow Blast. Why high instead of ultra? Yeah, I mean, kind of what Kane said. I don't have a great reason other than that. I had always run it on high, and anytime I had tried ultra, I noticed frame drops, and I could just be crazy. It might not be related, but you know what? I think the game looks great on the settings I had, so I just stuck with high. Kind of like a if it ain't broke, don't fix it sort of thing, I guess is the approach that I was taking with that. Speaking of sniping, a few different times at this base I've thought about grabbing it as a means of... don't get me wrong, sniping, especially on offense, is one of the least useful things you can do in terms of playing the objective or what have you. But in situations like this where we're just kind of getting farmed on our approach, it can certainly help. How does this guy go after me instead of all those other people? It can certainly help turn the tide and help out in that regard. So this is interesting. Gonna spawn as infill SMG kind of behind enemy lines at this point. This type of situation might not be terribly bad to even grab like a suppressor sometimes and whatnot, where you're taking a completely new angle of attack, where there aren't a lot of friendlies in the area. Oh, that was pretty wasted. I'm trying to regroup from that. I know there's still... I didn't see, at least that was coming up behind us. If you are playing Infil, try to throw down your recon detect darts as often as you can. It just gives you and your friendlies a pretty good idea of where enemies are coming from if you pay attention to the minimap. Motion sensors are awesome. They're even better at doing that job if you're in a kind of stationary area, because they are not mobile like the recon detect darts are. But that also goes to say something that I think a lot of new players don't necessarily do all that well is listen to audio cues and pay attention to their map, their radar in-game. So I do definitely recommend that, especially if you are playing an infiltrator or playing with somebody who has some sort of recon detection. Super helpful, gives you the upper hand. in a lot of situations. You can also expand the minimap, zoom it in and out. Having those keybinds readily accessible, I think, is hugely important. Ouch. Getting a res. Thank you, Jack. Shadow Blast, which gun were you referring to? I know I switched through a few different ones there. Sorry. When I was playing Infiltrator, I was using the Shuriken, which is the TR Directive SMG. For Van, it would be very similar to, well, it'd be the equivalent of the Scorpios, but that's also a directive weapon. So if you're looking for something to buy, the most similar would be the Eridani SMG, which is also a very good option. This is awful. I was going to say, there's like no getting out of that by the time the card reloads. Have another attack over here. Meh. I don't know. What I'm gonna do actually, I'll throw a snowball on for no good reason. NS Deep Freeze snowball gun, so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about if you haven't seen the gun before. I don't promise that I'm gonna kill anybody with it, but at least I can show you what it looks like. I do have a red camo on it. It's normally white, but this is literally the fastest that it fires, and it's a very slow projectile, but with a little bit of drop at range. As such, not terribly easy to get kills with. If you are looking to get kills with it, or the candy cannon, or the flare gun, or any of the holiday pistols like that, I recommend running with a primary weapon that does a chunk of alpha strike damage, like a shotgun or a sniper rifle, and shooting your target first, and then switching to the snowball gun. This infil looked injured. I still hit him with that shot, and it still didn't kill him. I'm going to try to pinch a kill there. This guy is probably injured as well. Totally missed, though. Oh, there you go. There you go. Bonus points for that. Obviously, yeah, if you're running enhanced targeting, or if you just generally know somebody's low on health, or it looks like they're low on health, you see their shields drop, you might be able to pinch a kill like I did on that medic as well. On that note, we pushed them out of that base and did capture it. I'm going to hit the instant action button. Nom Ravine, and we probably don't have a friendly force there, so I'm going to redeploy, see what it looks like. And in the meantime, I will give away the Deep Freeze snowball gun that you just saw in action. Battery's not included. But what was I even using? Emperor? I think so. Here goes. There's the code for the Deep Freeze. More of those to come in future weeks as well. Alright, so Yoka Chem Lab, Emmerich, Bastion, those are really small fights. Regent Rock, it's probably a queue to get into Indar, and I mean that means that people are probably still approaching. Could be a really good fight, another one of those iconic towers in the game. Whoops, meant to click on Hosen. But I'm not gonna take the dive just yet. VS is about to capture Hatcher, unfortunately. That could have been a decent defense, but getting there a little too late. Again, in Southern Crossing, probably going to just get rolled over by us, but I'll spawn at it while we wait. So yeah, VS Light Assault. Pulsar C is probably my recommendation as well. I really enjoy it. It takes a little bit of getting used to. It's a slower firing, harder hitting sort of VS weapon, but insanely accurate, can definitely drop people in mid to long range quite well. And it'll do good enough in close quarters if you need to. I say good enough because most of the alternatives would do better. Either the default Solstice or a VX67 or a Serpent would be the ones that you specifically outfit for close quarters. But it really depends on what you want to do, how you like playing. If you're an aim down sights sort of person that prefers to fight at a little bit of a distance, or if you want to be up in their face, hip firing and whatnot. Between the VX67 and the Pulsar C, those are pretty much my two go-to carbines for VS. The VX67 covers the close range with the laser sight, and the Pulsar C covers the long range with the forward grip. So hopefully that helps. Do I know when PlanetSide is coming to PS4? So it is on PS4 in closed beta at the moment, but I don't know beyond that any sort of dates or anything like that. I know they're aiming to get it out for various regions as soon as possible. I know that they are, you know, it's really just a matter of time. The more people that test, the more people that find bugs and give feedback, the better at this point. And the quicker that they can get it to a state where it feels like it's ready for open beta and then launch, which is kind of almost the same thing for a free-to-play game these days. So I don't know, unfortunately, sorry, but I hope that in the very near future it'll be accessible to all on PS4. But it is, you can sign up for the PS4 beta if you haven't already, and a lot of people have already gotten in. It is playable there, and I do play it from time to time. I did a episode 25, 5 episodes ago, was a PS4 focused episode, but since I'm not nearly as good with a controller and not as established there, I tend to do the L2PS2 shows from PC instead. But you may still catch me playing the PS4 version from time to time on my stream on other days. When am I doing another giveaway? Next week, if that counts. We just gave away 3 things in the last 52 minutes. So I'm sorry if that's not enough, but every week we usually do an average of 2 giveaways per show, Monday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here, what you're watching right now. And it's usually always one polar bear decal and something else. The something else as of late has been most often or most commonly a snowball gun, but also golden pistols, other NS Platinum weapons, EXP boosts, and things of that nature. So I try to give away 2 of those each week, and I also do giveaways on my channel at ItZMuRdA.com that are less frequent but more substantial, if you will. Usually giving away some of the same sort of things, as well as games for Steam, as well as station cash, as well as there we go. Finally remembered to grab an underbarrel when I needed to reload. As well as actual physical items like PlanetSide shirts, hats, dog tags, and things like that. So try to give back as often as I can, and I appreciate SOE Daybreak, having donated items in the past for giveaways, as well as any of the viewers who have donated items to give away. So that helps and goes a long way. If anybody has anything they'd like me to give away, you're always welcome to send it along. Thanks for the follow, Ms. ILV. Appreciate it. I do not stream every night at 9 p.m. Eastern. That's just the Monday night streams on this channel. But I stream on my channel most of the other nights of the week, time permitting. I usually try to start a little bit earlier at 8 p.m. Eastern if I can, but things have been pretty hectic with work and building a house as of late. So it's not always, the schedule is not always as reliable as it once was, but I try to do what I can. That's the link to where my stream takes place Tuesday through Friday, because it's over here on Mondays. I'm gonna smash instant actions. Nom Ravine now has a little bit more of a fight, so we'll see what it looks like. Hey Horkrin, how's it going, man? Sorry to hear that. Yeah, Oshi, me too, absolutely. It's just not a control mechanism that I ever really got used to. So I totally understand what you're saying. Yeah, you would put in the code in-game in the redeem code section or on the website under enter activation code once you log into your account at planetside2.com. It is a first come first serve sort of basis though, just because that's how the codes are designed. It's not by my choice, that's just the way that the codes work, unfortunately. So that's why we try to do a few different giveaways each week. And to follow up on that other question, FT Apollo, I do the giveaways every week on this show on Monday nights, but not every week on my channels. I wouldn't. A lot of the times, the giveaways on my channel are financially funded by me, and I definitely would not have the resources to do that or to pay for that every single day. but you at least get a few digital items given away each week over here. It's a pretty good head glitch. And track shot's probably not outfitted perfectly for that range. I've got a cat that you guys can probably see at the moment. This is BB, if you're unfamiliar with her. She has an emote on Twitch. Some may say the best emote on Twitch. That's part of the wonders of subscribing to ItZMuRdA TV. There she is. Ways to level faster, I mean, it's kind of hard to answer. There's everything I'm hoping to teach you guys is, can be taken as a way to level faster. In this session of 23 minutes since I logged on TR, still got 24,388 score, 147 certs. So I mean, I'm trying to. If anything, I definitely think that I am a somewhat efficient player when it comes to gaining score, certs, EXP, whatever you want to call it, in a short amount of time. For me, it's through killing people. This is plain and simple, and trying to, always, like in this instance, there was just 3 guys there, and I happened to get all 3 of the kills just because, despite having all the other friendly TR around, I was closely watching the map, and was able to pick off those kills before somebody else was. So I mean, it's all part and parcel to it, I think. Also knowing when to move on from fights once they've become pretty stale, like this one probably has now. You can always check the map for population indicators as a good idea if it's time to move on, and then further that to be able to feel pretty comfortable with the instant action, redeploy, reinforcements needed mechanics to always make sure you're in a fight where you can benefit from it, and kind of just hop from fight to fight from there on. That's kind of what I do, but there's so many different ways that you can. A lot of people recommend playing medic since you can kill people just as effectively as anything else, but you also get heal and revive EXP, which can be pretty substantial, especially early on to get you some certs to unlock some other things. For me, I just try to stay as active as possible, always looking for the next best fight, moving around the map with minimal downtime, trying to defend because there's always enemies coming to me for me to kill. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a combination of all of those things, as well as playing different classes. I mean, tonight I only played 3 of the 6 classes, but I switched between them pretty regularly, as well as loadouts within those classes, depending on the fight and how it was kind of evolving. So, yeah. I mean, I don't know how good of an answer that is. If you have any specific questions, I'm always available to try to help. The show's only got a couple minutes left on it for tonight, but you can always PM me on Twitch or anywhere else, and I check all of that stuff on a near daily basis and try to make sure I get back to everybody. Still a guy behind this tree, I was gonna say. Right there, just since it so happened to happen, and I noticed it, figured I'd mention it. But I was able to use that point of cover right in front of me where I just died at, since there was 2 guys that were originally in line of sight of me, and I wanted to kill the guy in the teal camo first because I had already injured him. So I just simply, instead of staying out here and dying, I just simply strafed to the right so that other guy no longer was, I was no longer a viable target for him. And that's something that kind of just becomes second nature the more you play, I think, just using cover and line of sight intelligently, especially if you're playing something like Light Assault where you've got, I should have grabbed the pump shotgun there, all of those, sorts of vertical angles that you can kind of take at your disposal. Not for tonight, Apollo, sorry to say. Next Monday, there definitely will be. Right here, same time. That's usually what you guys can rely on for now, but at specific milestones and things like that, I also host them on my channel. But yeah, positioning is huge, and I think I can kind of leave you guys with that. As for participating in them, Shadow Blast, on this channel, I usually just put the codes up at the bottom of the screen, as you may have seen earlier, and the first person to type those codes in and redeem them gets the item. It's pretty plain and simple in that regard. And when I do them on my channel, I have a little bit more time to... that guy was watching the minimap. He was ready to shoot me right away. A little bit more time to dedicate to, you know, picking somebody at random, or having people enter to win, things like that. So we set up kind of a giveaway that you can enter by typing something in the chat, and we do a random roll to try to keep things as fair as possible. But that being said, I hope I've been helpful. You guys are more than welcome to carry on discussion further, and I hope to see you on my channel some of the other nights of the week. You may occasionally see me playing other things, or like I said, I may occasionally have to postpone a stream due to real-life obligations that have been crazy as of late, but I try to keep up with it as much as I can. And if nothing else, I'll see you back here for episode 31. There's BB again on next Monday, March 23rd, 2015, right here on PlanetSide 2's Twitch channel at 9 p.m. Eastern. So I will see you guys then. Thanks so much for tuning in, and have a good one. I'll link my my channel again in the chat if you're interested in following or checking me out some of the other nights of the week. Take care, everybody.